Chosen one, why do you feel something stirring in your chest right now? Why did your finger stop scrolling the exact moment you saw this message? Why, at this precise second, does your soul know something is about to shift? Stop. Don't move. Don't rationalize. Don't explain this away. Chosen one. December 4th and 5th are not ordinary days. Heaven is placing a hand on the clock. Listen to me carefully, beloved. In 72 hours, a cosmic alignment so rare, so divinely orchestrated, is about to tear through the spiritual atmosphere over your life. This isn't astrology. This isn't New Age mysticism. This is biblical timing, colliding with celestial order. The same God who hung the stars and named every constellation is repositioning the heavens over you. And if you're hearing my voice right now, if something inside you just whispered, "This is for me," that wasn't accident. That was assignment. You didn't click this video, you were summoned. There is something heaven has been hiding from you. Until now. A secret that's been sealed in the courts of eternity, waiting for this exact moment when your desperation would finally meet God's divine timing. You've carried regrets for 20, 30, 40 years, haven't you? Buried dreams under responsibilities that felt heavier than your bones could carry. You've lived long enough to watch time steal promises God whispered over your life when you were young and hungry and believed anything was possible. Every sunrise has felt like a countdown. Every birthday, another year further from someday. Every mirror reflection, another line carved by waiting, wondering, doubting if your moment already passed. But God says time is about to obey you. These cosmic days, December 4th and 5th, they're not just calendar dates. They're your personal reversal. The universe is about to rewind every stolen season, every delayed blessing, every dream you buried alive because you thought you were too old, too late, too forgotten. Before we go deeper into this mystery, let me pause and thank every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and sow that seed of faith. But right now, if you feel that electric knowing in your spirit, type 444 inches the comments. That's not just a number, that's your spiritual, "I'm listening." That's you telling heaven, "I'm ready for what you've been hiding." The clock is ticking, chosen one. And what happens in the next 72 hours will determine the next 72 years of your legacy. How many times have you whispered God's name in the dark and heard nothing back? How many prayers have you sent up like smoke, watching them disappear into a ceiling that felt more like concrete than heaven? How long, tell me honestly, how long have you been waiting for an answer that never comes? You've cried behind bathroom doors so your family wouldn't see the cracks forming in their rock. You've gripped the edge of the kitchen sink at 3 in the morning, staring at your reflection, wondering if the woman who used to believe with fire in her belly still exists somewhere beneath these tired eyes. You've prayed prayers so desperate, so raw, so honest, that you couldn't even form words, just groans that came from a place deeper than your lungs could reach. And the silence, oh, that crushing, suffocating silence. You've wondered if God forgot your name, haven't you? If maybe he moved on to younger believers with fresher faith. If perhaps you did something, said something, became something that made heaven turn its back on you. Let me tell you what's really been happening while you've been drowning in that silence. Heaven didn't go silent because you were abandoned. Heaven went silent because you were being rewritten. Listen to me carefully, dear one. There's a reason the Bible is full of gaps. Moses disappeared into the wilderness for 40 years. Scripture gives us nothing. Where was he? What was he doing? Just silence. David spent years running through caves like a fugitive while wearing the anointing of a king. The prophets speak of these seasons, these divine pauses that feel like death but are actually preparation. Even Jesus, the Son of the living God, vanished for 18 years between the temple at 12 and the Jordan River at 30. 18 years. Where was he? What was the Father doing during that silence? He was calibrating, preparing, positioning his Son for a mission that would split history in half. You think you've been abandoned? You've been in the workshop of the Almighty. Even the moon pauses before shifting tides. The earth holds its breath between seasons. Why wouldn't God pause your life before shifting your destiny? See, there's something the enemy doesn't want you to understand about divine silence. When God goes quiet, it's not because he's distant, it's because he's working so close that speaking would interrupt the surgery. When a master surgeon operates, he doesn't talk to the patient, he focuses. He cuts away what doesn't belong. He reconstructs what was broken. He works in concentrated silence because the work is too delicate, too precise, too important for distraction. That's what's been happening to you. Every closed door wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Every unanswered prayer wasn't abandonment, it was divine editing. Every season that felt like death wasn't your ending, it was your becoming. You've lived through the Bronx blackout. You remember where you were on 9/11. You've survived recessions that crushed younger people who thought they were invincible. You've buried parents, maybe a spouse, maybe even a child. You've watched your body change in ways that remind you daily that time is not your friend. And through it all, you kept whispering his name even when you heard nothing back. Do you know what that makes you? That makes you dangerous to hell. Because the enemy's greatest weapon is silence, and you've proven that even in total silence, you won't let go of God's hand. Job sat in ashes for months. His friends told him to curse God and die. His wife questioned his faith. The heavens were silent as stone. But Job 42:12 says this: "The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part." The silence wasn't the end of his story. It was the pause before his greatest chapter. Your delay wasn't punishment, it was calibration. God has been adjusting the frequency of your faith, tuning your spirit to hear things others can't hear, teaching you a language that only comes from walking through valleys where you had no choice but to trust his voice in the dark. You think you lost those years? No. You were earning spiritual credentials that can't be faked. You were being certified by suffering, qualified by fire, authorized by endurance. And now, right now, as December 4th and 5th approach, heaven is about to break its silence over your life in a way that will leave you breathless. The pause is ending. The calibration is complete. The silence that felt like abandonment was actually anticipation. God wasn't ignoring your prayers. He was collecting them like rain in golden bowls before his throne, and he's about to pour them out as answers so overwhelming you'll need new language to describe what he's about to do. Psalm 30:5 declares, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Your night has been long, beloved, longer than you thought you could survive. But morning isn't just coming, it's being cosmically orchestrated by the very hand that set the stars in motion. Chosen one, if this is speaking to your spirit, if these words are reaching places in your soul you thought were dead, whisper in the comments, "Still I wait." Heaven reads those words, angels take note. And the God who never stopped working on you sees your faithfulness even when you couldn't see his hand. Because what's about to break through that silence will prove that every tear, every prayer, every moment you felt forgotten was building towards something so magnificent that it required this exact amount of preparation. But are you ready to discover what heaven has been hiding from you during the silence? Now, listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will shake every assumption you've ever made about timing, about seasons, about the cruel mathematics of age and opportunity. December 4th and 5th are not astrological events. They're not planetary alignments that some fortune teller decoded from tea leaves and tarot cards. What's happening in 72 hours is a spiritual threshold, a tearing in the veil between what was and what's about to be. Heaven itself is repositioning over the faithful, and if you're still breathing, still believing, still here, after everything that tried to take you out, you're about to understand why. Think of it like this. For decades, you've been standing on a shoreline watching the tide go out. Every year, another wave of opportunity seemed to recede further from your reach. Dreams drifted out to sea. Promises floated away on currents you couldn't control. You stood there watching your 30s disappear, then your 40s, then your 50s, 60, 70 years. Watching the water pull back, 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 until you wondered if anything would ever return. But beloved, this is the moment the tide turns in the unseen realm. This is when heaven rethreads the storyline of the faithful. And those 2 days, December 4th and 5th, they carry the blessing your younger self prayed for when you still had dark hair and tight skin and believed God heard every whispered petition. Do you remember those prayers? The ones you prayed at 25 when life was supposed to open up like a flower? The ones you whispered at 40 when you thought maybe, just maybe, this would be your breakthrough year? The desperate ones you sobbed into your pillow at 60 when you started wondering if God's promises had expiration dates printed in invisible ink? These 2 days are the answer to prayers you thought died in your throat. Listen to what Scripture declares in Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, not some purposes. Not the purposes of the young and the quick and the connected. Every purpose, including yours. Including the one you buried under decades of disappointment. Including the dream you eulogized at your own retirement party. But here's what's going to wreck you, what's going to split your heart wide open. You've lived long enough to bury people you loved. You've attended funerals for friends who didn't make it to 70, to 80, to wherever you're sitting right now. You've wondered why you're still here, when stronger people, better people, younger people have already gone home. This is the chapter you never expected to live long enough to see. God didn't keep you breathing just to count down your final years in some assisted living facility, watching game shows and waiting for grandchildren who never call. He didn't preserve your life through heart attacks and cancer scares and surgeries and grief, just so you could fade quietly into irrelevance. You're still here because December 4th and 5th required your presence. This cosmic window needed someone who's been refined by fire, tested by time, and proven faithful when faithfulness cost everything. Something is going to be revealed on those days, something God kept hidden until your spirit matured enough to carry it. Young people can't hold this. Their hands are too smooth, their hearts too untested. This blessing requires calluses. This promise demands someone who knows what it means to wait in the darkness and still choose to believe in the light. The prophet Habakkuk knew this mystery. He wrote in Habakkuk 2-3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." That word appointed in Hebrew is mod. It means a divine appointment, a set time, a cosmic intersection where heaven's calendar collides with human history. December 4th and 5th are your moed, your appointed time, your divine collision. But I need you to understand something that's going to flip your entire perspective. You thought you were late. You thought you missed it. You thought the door closed while you were still walking up the path. Every birthday felt like evidence of divine abandonment. Every year that passed without breakthrough felt like confirmation that God moved on to younger, fresher vessels. What you thought was over, God scheduled for December. That business idea you had 20 years ago that you convinced yourself was foolish, God's been aging it like fine wine, waiting for this moment when the market is desperate for exactly what you carry. That ministry you felt called to in your 40s, that life circumstances crushed. Heaven's been preparing the people who need to hear from someone who's been through hell and came out singing. That reconciliation you stopped praying for because too many years passed. God's been working on hearts you couldn't see, softening soil you couldn't touch. Moses was 80 when the burning bush interrupted his ordinary Tuesday. Sarah was 90 when Isaac's first cry shattered every medical impossibility. Anna the prophetess was 84 when she recognized the Messiah in the temple, while younger eyes walked right past him. Your age isn't your disqualification, it's your distinction. These cosmic days aren't coming despite your years, they're coming because of them. Heaven needed you seasoned, tested, unshakable. December 4th and 5th require someone who can't be impressed by the world's trinkets anymore, someone who's tasted enough of life's ashes to recognize when God's serving beauty on a silver platter. Right now, even as I'm speaking these words, something's happening in your chest, isn't it? That warmth spreading through your ribcage, that sudden catch in your breath, that knowing that settles in your bones before your mind can explain it. That's not emotion, that's confirmation. Chosen one. If you feel that warmth, if something ancient and eternal just stirred awake inside you, don't ignore it. Type "I'm ready" in the comments right now, not tomorrow, not after you think about it. Right now. Because heaven is watching to see who recognizes the sound of their own name being called. But what I'm about to reveal next will explain exactly what happens when these cosmic doors swing open, and why you've been strategically positioned for this precise moment in history. Listen to me, chosen one. Before I tell you what heaven is about to release over December 4th and 5th, I need to warn you about something the enemy is already doing right now, right this second, while you're listening to my voice. Every divine shift is hunted by distraction. The enemy always knocks right before heaven opens the door. You think it's coincidence that your phone has been buzzing more than usual, that old friends you haven't heard from in years are suddenly reaching out, that memories you buried 20 years ago are resurfacing in your dreams, that fear you thought you'd conquered is whispering again in the 3 a.m. darkness? No, beloved, that's not random, that's strategic. The Bible tells us in Exodus 14:10, right when Moses and the Israelites were about to walk into their greatest miracle, the Red Sea parting before their eyes, what happened? As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up, and there were the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified. The attack came at the threshold. Not before the journey, not in the middle of the wilderness, right at the edge of breakthrough. Why? Because hell knows something about you that you're just beginning to remember. Hell knows that if you make it through December 5th, fully aligned, fully awake, fully surrendered, there's no stopping what God is about to do through you. But here's what the enemy is counting on. He's counting on you being 70, 80, 90 years old and tired. He's counting on you thinking, I'm too old to fight another battle. He's counting on you believing that this time, this one last time, maybe you should just let it go, step back, play it safe. You will be tested through old memories, old regrets, old people calling back, old fears resurfacing. That daughter who broke your heart 15 years ago, she might call this week. That business partner who betrayed you in 1987, his name might cross your mind out of nowhere. That shame you thought you'd buried under decades of church attendance, it might knock on your door dressed up as just being realistic. And here's the test, dear one. Here's what separates those who walk through the cosmic door and those who turn back at the last second. The test isn't whether the enemy attacks. The test is whether you recognize the attack as confirmation. Think about Job. The Bible says in Job 1-8 that God himself pointed Job out to Satan. Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. And what happened next? Everything, and I mean everything, came crashing down. His wealth, his children, his health, his wife's support, his friends' understanding. All gone. But here's what most preachers won't tell you about Job's story. The attack wasn't proof that Job was cursed. It was proof that Job was carrying something so valuable, so powerful, so threatening to hell's agenda, that Satan had to ask God's permission to even touch him. If something tries to pull you backward between now and December 5th, that is your sign. The phone call that drags up ancient pain, that's your sign. The medical report that tries to speak death over your future, that's your sign. The financial pressure that suddenly intensifies, that's your sign. The family member who tells you you're too old to believe God for miracles, that's your sign. Because the magnitude of the attack always reveals the magnitude of the blessing waiting on the other side. Listen to what Jesus said in Luke 22:31-32. Right before Peter's greatest failure and greatest restoration, Jesus told him, "Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail." Satan asked permission. Why? Because Peter was about to become the rock upon which the church would be built. The attack came before the authority. You're not being attacked because you're weak, beloved. You're being attacked because you're dangerous. You're not under assault because God forgot about you. You're under assault because hell remembers what heaven placed inside you before you were born. And right now, as I speak these words, the enemy is throwing everything he's got at you. Old temptations, old wounds, old voices, old doubts. Because he knows that in 72 hours, if you're still standing, still believing, still declaring, "Not my will but yours," the cosmic alignment isn't just going to bless you. It's going to activate you. It's going to unleash you. It's going to release something through you that will shake your family tree, your neighborhood, your city. Something that will make the next generation look back and say, everything changed when they refused to turn back. The attack reveals the magnitude of the blessing waiting on the other side. So when that test comes, and it's coming, beloved, if it hasn't hit you already, don't you dare interpret it as God's absence. Interpret it as heaven's confirmation that you're about to break through into something hell has been working overtime to prevent. Chosen ones, if you already feel that test, if you felt the pressure increasing, the attacks intensifying, the spiritual warfare escalating, I need you to do something right now. Type in the comments, "No turning back, not tomorrow, not when you feel stronger, right now." Because that declaration isn't just for you, it's for the enemy listening, it's for the angels watching, it's for the destiny waiting on the other side of December 5th. The test is here, but so is the triumph. And what's about to happen next will prove that every battle you fought was preparing you for this exact moment. Now listen to me very carefully, chosen one, because what I'm about to reveal has been sealed in heaven's vault until this exact moment. December 4th and 5th aren't just marking time, they're breaking it open. And when heaven breaks open time itself, 3 shifts happen simultaneously in your life. Not 1, not 2. 3 seismic movements that will leave you unrecognizable to your own past. The first shift is external. The world around you begins to obey what's inside you. Think about your life right now. Every door you've knocked on slammed shut. Every opportunity you've reached for snatched away at the last second. Every relationship you've tried to restore met with silence colder than a January wind cutting through the Bronx. You've been pushing against hurricane forces your entire life, haven't you? Walking uphill in both directions, as they say. Fighting for every inch of ground while watching others coast on easy breezes. But Romans 8:28 promises us, all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Not some things, all things. And right now, beloved, the cosmic gears are clicking into place. Doors that have been welded shut for decades, they're about to swing open so smoothly you'll wonder if they were ever locked at all. That phone call you stopped expecting in 2003, it's coming. That debt that's been crushing your chest since the market crashed, heaven's accountants are processing your relief. That child who stopped speaking to you 7 Thanksgivings ago, reconciliation is in the atmosphere. It's as if the wind, after 70-80 years of blowing directly into your face, making every step feel like climbing Everest, suddenly switches direction and starts pushing you forward. No more fighting, no more forcing, no more exhausting yourself just to stay in place. You feel that shift already, don't you? Something loosening, something lifting. That's not your imagination, that's confirmation. But the external shift is just the beginning. The second shift happens internally, and this one will shock you. How long have you lived with panic as your morning alarm? How many years have you woken up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing, your mind spinning through worst-case scenarios like a broken carousel? How many decades have regret and confusion been your only companions? Philippians 4:7 speaks of the peace of God, which passeth all understanding. And beloved, that's not poetic language. That's prophetic promise. In 72 hours, something is going to settle over your mind like fresh snow over chaos. Peace where panic ruled, confidence where regret poisoned every memory, clarity where confusion kept you paralyzed. You're going to wake up on December 6th, and your mind, your beautiful, weathered, wisdom-filled mind, is going to feel younger. Not because you've forgotten your years, but because hope has finally returned to occupy the space where despair was squatting like a stubborn tenant refusing to leave. That heaviness you've carried in your chest since 1987, it's about to evaporate like morning fog when the sun finally breaks through. That shame you've been dragging behind you like Jacob's limp, God's about to turn it into testimony. That voice in your head that's been whispering too late, too old, too damaged, it's about to be drowned out by the roar of divine timing. Your hope will feel alive again, not just breathing, thriving, not just surviving, conquering, because when God shifts your internal atmosphere, everything that felt dead starts resurrecting. And now we come to the third shift, the spiritual shift. This is where it gets dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Listen to me, dear one. Joel 2:28 declares, "Your old men shall dream dreams, not remembered dreams." Not dreams from 1974 that you've buried under realistic expectations. Fresh dreams, new vision, divine downloads that make no earthly sense but perfect heavenly sense. You thought your dreaming days were over. You thought at 75, 82, 90 years old, God was finished giving you assignments. That's the greatest lie hell ever sold, and you bought it because the world kept telling you to act your age. But what if acting your age means finally stepping into the authority that only decades of faithfulness can produce? What if your white hair isn't a sign of decline, but a crown of glory? What if these cosmic days are heaven saying, now you're ready for what I've been preparing since before you were born. You're about to feel something you haven't felt in 40 years. Divine appointment, that knowing, that certainty, that unshakable confidence that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you were created to do, at exactly the right moment. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." Your season of waiting is over. Your time of wondering is finished. Your purpose is about to collide with heaven's perfect timing, and the impact will leave you breathless. Heaven didn't make you wait this long to give you something small. Think about that. Really let it sink into the marrow of your bones. Every delay, every disappointment, every door that closed, it wasn't rejection. It was preparation for something so massive, so magnificent, so beyond your current comprehension, that if God had given it to you any earlier, it would have destroyed you instead of delivering you. But now you're ready. Now you can handle it. Now the weight of glory won't crush you, it will crown you. Chosen one. If you can feel this alignment in your spirit, if something inside you is trembling with recognition, type, "Shift me, Lord," in the comments right now. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. Because heaven is watching for your response. But knowing the shift is coming isn't enough. You need to understand what's been blocking it all these years. Beloved, lean in close. What I'm about to tell you will shatter every assumption you've made about your suffering. For decades, you've been asking the wrong question. You've been asking, why did this happen to me? When God has been waiting for you to ask, what was this preparing me for? December 4th and 5th aren't just bringing alignment, they're bringing revelation. God is about to show you why every door that closed had to close. Listen to me carefully. That job you didn't get in 1987, the one that crushed you, that made you question your worth, that sent you spiraling into depression, What if I told you that rejection saved your life? What if that company collapsed 3 years later, leaving everyone bankrupt and broken? What if God slammed that door so hard because he saw the trap on the other side? That marriage that ended, the one that tore your heart into pieces, so small you didn't think you'd ever feel whole again. You've carried that failure like a stone around your neck for 20, 30 years. But what if that wasn't failure? What if that was rescue? What if staying in that union would have buried the very calling God has waited your entire life to release? That diagnosis the doctor delivered with such cold certainty. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease. The words that made you feel like your body had betrayed you, like God had forgotten to protect you. You sat in that sterile room, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, and wondered if this was how your story ends. But you're still here, aren't you? Still breathing, still standing, still believing, even when belief felt like lifting bricks with bare hands. Job knew this mystery. The Bible says in Job 23:10, "But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold." Job lost everything: his children, his wealth, his health, his reputation. Even his wife told him to curse God and die. But Job understood something that you're about to understand. Testing isn't punishment. It's purification. Every single thing that tried to destroy you was actually refining you. That financial collapse that left you counting pennies, rationing groceries, lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering how you'd make rent. That wasn't God abandoning you. That was God teaching you that your security doesn't come from bank accounts. It comes from the one who owns every bank in existence. Philippians 4:19 promises, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." Not some needs, all needs, not according to your paycheck, according to his glory. You learn to trust him with empty pockets. And that lesson, that unshakable trust, that's what qualified you for what's coming. That season of loneliness that nearly killed you, when your children stopped calling, when your friends disappeared, when you sat in a silent house that used to overflow with laughter and noise, and you wondered if anyone would even notice if you were gone. That isolation wasn't rejection, beloved. That was separation. God was separating you from every voice, every opinion, every distraction, so you could finally hear his voice clearly. In the wilderness, Moses met God at the burning bush. In the cave, Elijah heard the still small voice. In the belly of the fish, Jonah finally surrendered. Your loneliness was your wilderness, your cave, your wail. And in that crushing solitude, something sacred was being forged. But here's what's going to wreck you. Here's the revelation that heaven is releasing over December 4th and 5th. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one year, not one loss. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every heartbreak deepened your compassion. Every failure humbled your pride. Every attack from the enemy proved you carried something worth fighting for. You've been in graduate school, beloved, earning your doctorate in faith while everyone else was taking elementary courses in comfort. Romans 8:28 declares, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Not some things, all things. That verse doesn't say God causes all things, it says he works in all things. He takes the weapons formed against you and melts them down into tools for your destiny. The cancer that should have killed you became your testimony that God still heals. The bankruptcy that humiliated you became your authority to speak to others drowning in debt. The divorce that shamed you became your ministry to broken hearts who think love is dead. The addiction that enslaved you became your platform to set captives free. Your mess became your message. Your test became your testimony. Your pain became your platform. And now, right now, in these cosmic days, God is about to connect every single dot. Every seemingly random tragedy, every unexplained delay, every agonizing wait is about to form a picture so beautiful, so purposeful, so perfectly designed that you'll fall to your knees in worship. You're about to see the tapestry from heaven's side. And when you do, you'll understand why God never answered certain prayers, why he stayed silent when you screamed, why he let you walk through fire instead of around it. Because fire doesn't destroy gold, it reveals it. Chosen ones, type "I receive this revelation" in the comments right now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel worthy. Right now. This is not content. This is covenant. This is heaven handing you the keys to understanding your entire life story. But there's something else God is about to show you, something even more profound about what these cosmic days will unlock, something that will explain why your greatest breakthrough had to wait until now, until this age, until this exact moment when most people would say your time has passed. Chosen one, I need you to feel the weight of what I'm about to tell you. We are now standing in the shadow of the most spiritually charged 48 hours your life has ever witnessed. December 4th and 5th are racing toward you like a freight train loaded with destiny, and every second that ticks by is bringing you closer to a collision with the miraculous. Listen to me carefully. The final hours before this cosmic event are not just passing time. They are preparation hours, sacred hours. Hours when heaven itself is moving chess pieces across the board of your existence, positioning you for a divine checkmate against every force that has held you hostage. At 11:11 p.m. on December 3rd, the alignment begins. That's not poetry, beloved. That's prophecy. While you sleep, while the world scrolls mindlessly through their phones, while darkness covers the earth, angelic armies will begin their march. They're coming for you, not to judge you, to reposition you, to recalibrate every broken timeline, every stolen promise, every dream that died before its time. You want biblical proof? Look at Daniel chapter 10. For 21 days, Daniel prayed, and heaven seemed silent. But the angel finally appeared and said, "From the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them." 21 days of warfare in the heavenly realm before breakthrough manifested on earth. Your prayers haven't been ignored, dear one. They've been opposed. But December 4th and 5th mark the moment when angelic reinforcements break through every demonic blockade that's been holding your answer hostage. And you will know when it begins. There will be signs that cannot be explained away by coincidence or rationalized by logic. You'll experience an unexpected calm, the kind of peace that makes no sense given your circumstances. You'll see repeated numbers everywhere you look. 444, 1,111, 555. These aren't accidents, they're confirmations. Heaven's way of saying, we see you, we're moving, get ready. Your dreams will shift. Instead of anxiety dreams, instead of nightmares about lack and loss, you'll dream in color. You'll dream of doors opening, of walking through places you've never been but somehow recognize, of conversations with people whose faces you can't quite see, but whose words settle in your soul like prophecy. And then, this is what will shock you most. You'll feel a sudden lifting, like invisible weights you didn't even know you were carrying just disappear. That chronic heaviness in your chest, gone. That suffocating sense of, it's too late for me, evaporated. That voice that's been whispering you're finished for the last decade, silenced. But here's what breaks my heart and fills me with urgency at the same time. Some of you are sitting there right now thinking, this sounds beautiful, but I'm 73 years old. I'm 81. I'm 67, and my body is breaking down, and my best years are behind me. Stop it. Stop that lie right now. Your age is not your limitation, it's your qualification. Do you understand what God is doing? He's not giving you this breakthrough so you can enjoy a few comfortable years before you die. He's giving you this breakthrough so your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, the generations that carry your name, can live inside the blessing that lands on you during these cosmic days. Think about Abraham. God didn't just promise him a son when he was 99 years old. God promised him that his descendants would outnumber the stars in the sky. Genesis 15:5 records it. He took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them." Then he said to him, "So shall your offspring be." Abraham's blessing wasn't just for Abraham, it was for Isaac, for Jacob, for the 12 tribes, for every person who would ever call themselves a child of faith. One old man's obedience during his cosmic moment changed the trajectory of human history. You think God's done with you? You think you're too late? Beloved, you're not at the end of your story. You're standing at the rise. December 4th and 5th don't mark the middle of your narrative. They mark the moment when everything you've endured, every tear you've cried, every door that slammed in your face suddenly makes sense. The setup is over. The rising action begins now. But you must understand the urgency of this moment. Cosmic alignments don't wait. Divine appointments don't reschedule. When God says now, He means now, not next week when you feel more ready, not next month when your circumstances look better, not next year when you finally figured everything out. Ecclesiastes 3:1 declares, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." Your season is here. Your time is now. And if you miss this window because you chose doubt over faith, fear over courage, comfort over calling, you will spend the rest of your days wondering what could have been. Chosen one, if you feel your spirit trembling right now, if something inside you is confirming that every word I'm speaking is truth, type "I step into destiny" in the comments. Not tomorrow. Not later. Right now. Let heaven see your readiness. Let the angels witness your declaration. Because what's about to unfold in the next 48 hours will separate those who merely survive from those who are destined to reign. The countdown has begun, and the question heaven is asking is simple. Will you be ready when the alignment completes? Listen to me, chosen one. I need to tell you something about your life that's going to shake you to your core. Something that will explain every scar, every tear, every night you didn't think you'd make it till morning. You should have died in that hospital bed when the doctors gave you 6 months and walked out shaking their heads. You should have crumbled when your spouse of 37 years walked out that door and never looked back. That financial collapse in 2008 that wiped out everything you'd built for 40 years that should have been your ending. The betrayal from someone you trusted for 2 decades, someone you called family, someone who knew your secrets and used them as weapons that should have destroyed not just your faith, but your will to keep breathing. But it didn't. And here you are, still here, still standing, still believing when every rational bone in your body screams that you should have given up years ago. Do you know why you're still here? Do you understand what your survival actually means? Your survival is the prophecy. Let me take you to Job chapter 1, verse 21. After losing everything, his children, his wealth, his health, everything that made life worth living, Job declared, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." But here's what most preachers won't tell you about Job's story. His survival through that nightmare wasn't just about patience, it was about proof. God was proving to hell itself that there are some souls so deeply rooted in divine purpose that even total devastation cannot uproot them. You are that soul. Think about a tree, beloved. A tree that only knows spring, that only feels warm sunshine and gentle rain. It grows shallow roots. Its branches reach high, but its foundation stays weak. But a tree that survives winter, a tree that endures frozen ground, violent winds, months of darkness when every leaf falls and every branch looks dead. That tree doesn't just survive. It transforms. Its roots drive down deep, deeper than any storm can reach, anchoring itself in layers of earth that summer trees will never touch. Psalm 1-3 says, "The righteous are like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither." But do you know what it takes to become that tree? Winter, stripping, dying to what looks alive, so that what's truly alive can go deeper. Every year you've survived was heaven driving your roots deeper than your pain could reach. You think those 40 years of financial struggle were punishment? No, that was God teaching you that your provision doesn't come from a bank account, it comes from His hand. You think that marriage that shattered your heart was abandonment? No, that was heaven removing what would have kept you dependent on human love instead of divine love. You think that diagnosis that made doctors whisper in hallways was a death sentence? No, that was the Almighty showing you that your life doesn't hang on their prognosis, it hangs on His promise. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 declares, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." Listen to those words. Not crushed, not in despair, not abandoned, not destroyed. But here's what's going to wreck you. Here's what's going to make everything you've been through suddenly make sense. Every moment you survived was heaven rehearsing your comeback. You weren't just enduring random suffering, you were in training. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every financial loss taught you dependence on God. Every health scare taught you that your strength isn't in your body, it's in your spirit. Every lonely night taught you how to hear God's voice when every other voice goes silent. You've been in boot camp, chosen one. And graduation day is December 4th and 5th. God doesn't waste pain, He transforms it. He doesn't dismiss your suffering, He redeems it. And right now, in this cosmic moment, heaven is about to show you what all that fire was actually forging. You're not a victim of your past. You're a weapon shaped by it. But there's something else. Something I need you to understand before these cosmic days arrive. Your survival wasn't just about you. It was about everyone you're going to pull out of the same pit that tried to swallow you whole. The comeback that begins on December 4th and 5th isn't just personal restoration. It's generational resurrection. And there is one more sign you must look for. A sign that will confirm beyond any doubt that heaven has been orchestrating every step, every stumble, every moment you thought you were walking alone. A sign that will appear in these cosmic days that will make your past suffering look like the price of admission to your divine assignment. But right now, if you feel it in your bones that you survived for a reason, that your pain has a purpose, that your story isn't finished, comment below, "I survived for a reason." Let heaven see you. Let this community surround you. Because what's coming next will require you to remember why you're still standing. Listen to me very carefully, chosen one. What I'm about to tell you has been happening to people just like you for the last 48 hours, and most of them thought they were losing their minds. They're not. They're being visited. You see, there's something the church forgot to teach you about angels. We sanitized them, put them on Christmas cards with halos and harps, made them soft and safe and distant. But the Bible tells a different story. Every single time an angel appeared to a human being, the first words out of their mouth were always the same. Do not be afraid. Why would they say that? Because angels aren't gentle whispers floating on clouds. They're warriors. They're messengers carrying orders from the throne room of God. And when they move, the atmosphere shifts. For some of you, it came as a sudden chill that swept through your living room at 3 a.m., even though the heat was on. For others, a warmth across your shoulders, like invisible hands steadying you when you were about to break. Maybe you felt a presence so thick in your bedroom last night that you couldn't move, couldn't speak, could only lie there absolutely knowing you weren't alone. You thought the room was empty. Heaven says it wasn't. Dear one, let me tell you what's really happening. In the 72 hours before a major destiny shift, the angelic realm operates differently. Time doesn't flow the same way. Silence becomes heavier. Dreams turn prophetic. And certain people, chosen people, begin to sense things they've never sensed before. Hebrews 1:14 asks a question that should shake you. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Sent to serve you, not sometime in eternity. Right now. In your apartment in Queens, in your house in Brooklyn, in that nursing home room you thought God forgot about. Angels move differently in the days before a divine reversal. Time bends, silence thickens. Have you noticed how the last few days have felt strange? How conversations pause at odd moments? How certain songs on the radio seem to speak directly to your situation? How you keep seeing repeated numbers, 444, 777, 1111, so often it can't be coincidence. That's not your imagination, beloved. That's angelic activity. They're marking you. They're positioning themselves. They're finishing the final preparations before December 4th and 5th tear open the heavens over your life. But here's what breaks my heart. Most people miss their angelic visitation because they're looking for the wrong thing. They're waiting for wings and trumpets and glory clouds. But angels rarely announce themselves that way. Instead, they move in the margins, in the quiet stirrings, in the holy coincidences that make your spirit leap before your mind can catch up. Do you remember what happened to Mary? Luke 1:26 says the angel Gabriel was sent from God to a small town nobody cared about, to a young girl nobody noticed. And when he appeared, he didn't show up with fanfare. He showed up in her ordinary day and spoke one sentence that would change human history. Do not be afraid, for you have found favor with God. Found favor, past tense. The favor was already there. The angel just came to announce it. What if your angel has been in your room for weeks, watching, waiting, preparing the atmosphere for what's about to be announced over your life? You've felt forgotten for so long, haven't you? You've sat in that same chair, walked those same hallways, lived those same quiet days thinking heaven moved on without you. But what if heaven has been positioning angels around your life this entire time? Invisible guardians making sure you survived long enough to reach December 4th and 5th? What if every near miss, every close call, every moment you should have given up but didn't, that was angelic intervention keeping you alive for this appointment? In Daniel 10, the prophet prayed for 21 days before the angel arrived. And when he finally came, the angel said something shocking. From the first day that you set your heart to understand, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. The angel was fighting to reach Daniel the entire time. For 3 weeks, invisible warfare raged in the heavens, while Daniel sat on earth thinking God wasn't listening. Chosen one, what if your prayers didn't bounce off the ceiling? What if they launched a war in the spiritual realm, and the angels assigned to you have been fighting through resistance to reach you before December 5th? If something unusual happens between now and December 5th, if you feel that chill again, if you sense that presence, if you wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding and a knowing you can't explain, that's your angel finishing your paperwork. That's heaven stamping approved on the destiny shift that's been delayed for decades. But what happens after the angel arrives? What happens when your life meets divine timing? What happens when the supernatural collides with your natural circumstances and nothing, absolutely nothing, remains the same? That's what we're about to discover together. Chosen one, if you're ready to welcome what's coming, if you're ready to stop fighting the presence you've been feeling, type these words in the comments. I welcome heaven's messengers, because they're already here, and they're waiting for you to recognize them. There are moments when heaven fast forwards what life slowed down. Chosen one, I need you to understand something that's going to shake the very foundation of how you've been measuring your existence. You've been living on Earth's clock, tick, 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 watching years pile up like unpaid bills, feeling time slip through your fingers like water you can't hold. But what if I told you that while you've been counting Earth minutes, heaven has been counting eternal moments? December 4th and 5th are not just dates on your wall calendar, they're collision points. Divine intersections where heaven's schedule crashes into Earth's timeline with such force that everything you thought was lost gets violently recalibrated. Think about this. Really think about it. That prayer you whispered in your 30s when your marriage was falling apart. You're in your 70s now, and you buried that prayer under decades of disappointment. You convinced yourself God didn't hear it. But what if heaven was just waiting for the right cosmic alignment to answer it in a way so magnificent that your 30-year-old self couldn't have handled it? Those dreams you had at 45 when you still believed your life could be more than just surviving. You're 68 now, and you haven't thought about those dreams in years because thinking about them hurt too much. But what if those dreams didn't die? What if they've been in heaven's incubator, being redesigned, reimagined, rebuilt for the version of you who's been refined by fire and tested by time? Here's what breaks my heart. Here's what makes me weep for God's chosen ones. You think you're too late. You think your moment passed 20 years ago when that door slammed shut. You think God moved on to younger vessels, fresher faces, people who haven't accumulated your regrets. But listen to what the prophet Joel declared. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. Not some of the years. Not a few of the years. The years. Every single season the enemy devoured while you were just trying to keep your head above water, God is about to return them to you with compound interest. Time is not your enemy, beloved. Time is your witness. Every gray hair on your head is testimony. Every wrinkle on your face is evidence. Every scar on your heart is proof that you survived what should have killed you. And now, heaven is about to call time itself to the witness stand and declare, you tried to steal from my chosen one. Now watch me restore everything you took multiplied. But here's where it gets supernatural. Here's where the mystery deepens into something your logical mind can't process, but your spirit already knows. There are blessings that were meant for your parents, but they died before they could receive them. There are promises spoken over your grandparents that never manifested in their lifetime. There are prayers your great-grandmother prayed on her knees in a Brooklyn tenement in 1952, crying out for someone in her bloodline to break free, and heaven saved those prayers for you. December 4th and 5th are generational download days. Ancestral breakthrough is about to crash into your present reality. You're not just getting your stuff back. You're inheriting what 3 generations before you were promised but never possessed. Think about Joseph. 17 years old when God gave him dreams of greatness, 30 years old when Pharaoh pulled him out of prison and placed him second in command over all of Egypt, 13 years of delays, betrayals, false accusations, and forgotten promises. But when heaven's timeline collided with earth's circumstances, Joseph didn't just get restored, he got repositioned to save nations. You are Joseph in this hour. Those 13 years you spent wondering if God forgot you, that wasn't abandonment. That was preparation for a promotion so massive that, if it had come any earlier, it would have destroyed you instead of elevating you. The Bible records in Ecclesiastes 3:11 that God has made everything beautiful in its time. But here's what most preachers won't tell you. His time doesn't run on your clock. His beautiful isn't your convenient. When heaven decides it's time, time itself bends backward and forward simultaneously to make up for every stolen moment. December 4th and 5th are the days heaven returns everything time stole from you. The health you lost at 53, the confidence they stripped from you at 61, the dreams you buried at 47, the purpose you surrendered at 72. Time is about to become your servant instead of your master. But I need you to understand the urgency of this moment. Cosmic windows don't stay open forever. Divine alignments are appointments, not accidents. You can sit in your living room in Queens or your apartment in the Bronx and let December 4th and 5th pass like any other Thursday and Friday. Or you can position yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally to receive what heaven is releasing. There is one more level of revelation that will complete this mystery. One final piece that will show you exactly how to position yourself for maximum impact during these cosmic days. But before we ascend to that final truth, I need to know you're ready. Write in the comments right now, restore my time. Not tomorrow, not when you finish the video. Right now, because your declaration activates heaven's response. Your voice gives God legal permission to intervene in your timeline. The collision is coming, chosen one. And what happens when heaven's schedule meets your earthly circumstances will leave you breathless. But are you prepared for what happens when time itself begins to obey you? Beloved chosen one, as we reach the end of this sacred revelation, I need you to hold on to 3 eternal truths that will anchor your soul through December 4th and 5th. First, these are not ordinary days. They are divine appointments where heaven's timeline collides with your earthly circumstances. Second, time is no longer your enemy, but your witness, testifying to everything you've survived and everything God is about to restore. And third, you were summoned to this message because heaven recognized your readiness for what's coming. But hear me clearly, you are not walking into these cosmic days alone. The same God who positioned the stars and named every constellation is personally orchestrating every detail of your breakthrough. He hasn't brought you this far to abandon you now. Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? That's not just a verse, that's your reality for December 4th and 5th. And beyond God's presence, you have this community. Right here, right now, thousands of chosen ones are standing with you, believing with you, praying with you. We are your spiritual family, and we will carry you through these cosmic days together. So, let me ask you this. Now that you know heaven is repositioning time itself over your life, how will you walk differently into December 4th and 5th? Before you go, I want to pray over you with the authority of someone who has walked with God through every season. Heavenly Father, I place my hand on the shoulder of every precious soul hearing these words. You know their names. You see their tears. You've counted every year they thought was wasted. Lord, I pray that December 4th and 5th become their personal Pentecost, a divine outpouring that changes everything. Father, restore their time, return every stolen season with compound blessings, open doors no man can shut, accelerate promises that have been delayed. Let them feel your presence so powerfully during these cosmic days that doubt becomes impossible and faith becomes their new normal. Bless their families, their health, their finances, their purpose. Surround them with divine appointments and supernatural favor. And Lord, let them wake up on December 6th, knowing beyond any doubt that heaven moved on their behalf. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen. Now, I need you to do something. Share your testimony in the comments below. Tell us what you're believing God for during these cosmic days. Ask for prayer, this community will surround you. And please, share this message with someone who needs to know their moment hasn't passed. If this word penetrated your spirit, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. You're not just subscribing to content, you're joining a movement of chosen ones who refuse to let time steal what God promised. Thank you for staying with me through this entire journey. Your faithfulness to watch until the end tells me everything I need to know about your heart. You're ready. December 4th and 5th are coming, chosen one. And time itself is about to bow to heaven's decree over your life. Walk in your authority. You are loved. You are chosen. You are never alone.